Alright, so we're at our deck project here, basically where there was an existing cedar deck. Footprint was essentially the same. We made a couple of changes, but pretty close to the same. And we completely tore down what was here. It was 20 years old and it was starting to show its age. And we rebuilt it. We went with Batu or Red Balau decking instead of cedar this time, and changed a few things. There used to be a lot more posts in the way, obstructing the view, so we got rid of them, put in larger beams to do that. And we changed this area up here, where it used to be at the same level. We have a raised section now where the grill is going to be, so it's got easy access to the kitchen. So that is going to be pretty cool. The deck joists, I want to point those out. They're painted green to kind of it's a trim color on the house, but it really sets off nicely against that Red Balau decking up there. So that's something I'm pretty happy with. What else am I going to tell you? The decking itself. So we did a pattern where we went with 3.5 inch, 3.5 inch, 5.5 inch on the boards. And we broke it up with these borders so that we didn't have splices in the field. We always think that looks a little bit nicer. And we did, we fastened it with what's called a camo jig. It's a company that makes this jig where you pre-drill and then screw these finish head screws in at an angle on the kind of just inside edge of the decking, so you can barely see them. So it pretty much, looks like it's got no fastener showing, which is a nice look. A couple little riser lights here and there for just mostly for safety at night, and add a little bit of accent lighting. And we reused the existing railing. So when we rebuilt the deck, we tried to replicate the existing half-wall framed railing as much as we could, so that we could reuse the existing custom ornamental wrought iron railing, powder-coated railing, with this leaf pattern in it, with minimal changes. We did have to make a few, and our metalwork guy did a phenomenal job on that. So, a couple other details. So one of the things that's really tricky when you've got these kind of half walls out here, we're very exposed, we're right next to the Columbia River, get a lot of weather here, from very hot days to the cold rain, driving rain, freezing rain, the east winds out of the gorge, a lot of temperature fluctuations here. So we wanted to be take extra precautions on the waterproofing around on these half walls, as you can see in the photos. So another thing I point out is that these column details that we did is something that my client really wanted, a kind of craftsman column detail with a larger base going up to a narrower column, and those are all wrapped in a product called laurel trim, which is a fly ash material. I guess something, it doesn't soak up water at all, so it's a perfect trim material for an exterior application like this, where you're really trying to be very mindful of the waterproofing. And it's workable like wood. You can work with it with standard woodworking tools, routers, and everything. So that was the first time we've ever used it. We're really pleased with that product. I love to point out the fact that our carpenter, when he's putting the lag bolts into through the ledger into the house, he puts them perfect. They line up perfectly. They're not random. They're not zigzaggy. They're perfect. We want every detail that you can see, even framing, when it's visible, it needs to look fantastic. It needs to look like finished work. It's nice having a guy like Rob who really takes pride in his work and pays attention to those details. The next thing, which will come up in part 2 of our video, is going to be this cabinetry build that we're doing. Building some exterior cabinets around this grill, the storage cabinets on the opposite side to match the decking. So you'll want to come back and check that out. It's kind of crazy. I've never done anything like it before, but it's been a fun, challenging project so far. Partway into it, and should be finishing that up in the next few weeks. So I think that's all I got. See ya.